He was known for his strength and ability to turn pain into success. Behind the tattoos, the jewelry, and the wins, he fought a quiet battle no one saw. One backstage moment changed everything, and his team was left deeply shaken. The warning signs were there, but did anyone notice them in time? For years, Jelly Roll has been more than just a hitmaker. He's become a symbol of overcoming tough times. His story goes from prison cells to performing on the Grammy stage, a story full of grit and raw emotion. Yet even strong voices can break under too much pressure. Hidden behind closed doors, Jelly Roll carried a darker pain than many knew. Sources say recent events have hit him hard. While fans cheered at sold-out shows and celebrated his rise, he fought a private crisis. It threatened his career, his health, his relationships, and his will to keep going. This wasn't a scandal or a meltdown made for the media. It was something deeper and more human. It's the kind of struggle he's sung about many times. Addiction, anxiety, and the lingering ghosts of trauma never truly leave him. In interviews, he hinted at dark times returning. No one understood how close he was to breaking until now. Insiders say it started with small signs, missed calls, canceled shows, a distant gaze. Then came a turning point, a private emergency that forced him to face everything he thought he'd overcome. The moment was so intense that those around him feared he might break. Yet he kept up his tough exterior, putting on a brave face for fans. But that mask is slipping now. Soon we will uncover the painful details Jelly Roll never wanted to reveal. We'll see what's been happening behind the scenes, away from music, tours, and fame. As the full story unfolds, one question remains in the air. Can the man who climbed up from rock bottom survive this fall? Before he was a star, before chart toppers and sold-out shows, he was Jason Defford, a boy from Nashville's Antioch neighborhood. There, dreams didn't often come true, and second chances were rare. He was born on December 4th, 1984, and grew up amid hardship. His single mother struggled with mental health and addiction, while his father sold meat from a truck to make ends meet. His world was tough, unpredictable, and sometimes harsh. Still, even amid the chaos, young Jason found comfort in music, especially honest, raw rap songs. Artists like Tupac and 36 Mafia inspired him. They wore their pain openly and turned scars into anthems. As he started writing lyrics and dreaming bigger, the streets pulled him in. By his teens, Jason was living a life like the stories he admired. Crime and jail held him early and often. He was first arrested at 14. By 16, he was in and out of juvenile detention. Soon he faced a serious felony charge that haunted him for years. Many would call that the end of the road. But something inside refused to give up. While in jail, Jason sharpened his writing. He poured out his feelings into verses. He scribbled lyrics in his cell, dreaming of a stage he hadn't seen yet. This was more than just therapy. It was survival. When he got out, he took the name Jelly Roll. His mother had called him that as a chubby kid. He turned it into a symbol of honest, tough stories. He sold mixtapes from his trunk, performed underground shows, and worked with Southern rappers. The grind was tough. No managers, no big budget, just talent and passion. His music talked about addiction, poverty, broken homes, and hope. It was rooted in real life. Slowly, people began to notice him. But fame didn't come quickly. For years, many ignored Jelly Roll as just another underground artist. His tattoos, big build, and emotional side did not fit the slick image pop stars had. But that made him real. His fans loved him even more. They didn't just listen, they felt his songs deeply. Behind the scenes, Jelly Roll's life was changing. He became a father young, an experience that changed him more than any hit song ever could. His daughter, Bailey Ann, became his anchor in the chaos, the reason he kept going when everything seemed to fall apart. Later, he met Bunny Zoe, a podcaster and model who became his wife and his steady support. She helped him believe in love again and stand strong through dark times. Even with touring and growing his career, family stayed at the center of his life. Jelly Roll made sure his fans understood what truly mattered to him: his wife, his children, and creating a legacy better than the one he grew up with. Still, his demons never vanished completely. He's been open about his fight with addiction and mental health, recognizing that fame didn't erase his pain. His rise in country music surprised everyone, including himself. When he crossed over into the genre, mixing honest lyrics with twangy tunes and heartfelt stories, it all clicked. Suddenly, a new crowd found him. They saw not just a singer, but a man who had survived struggles most hide from. His hit single, Lush, Son of a Sinner, showed his inner conflict, the struggle between faith and failure, between redemption and temptation. The song launched him into a new level of fame, earning awards, TV spots, and a debut on the Grand Ole Opry that moved him deeply. For the boy from Antioch, it was a full-circle moment that made him emotional and silent among music legends. Yet, even as his fame grew, he carried the weight of his past. Jelly Roll often says he doesn't want to be famous, but wants to make a difference. He wants to remind hurting people they are not alone. This mission is noble, but it comes with pain. Behind the scenes, the pressure has increased. Every success brought more responsibility, more high expectations, and sleepless nights wondering if he's enough. Lately, those worries have started to show. People close to him say his past, his present struggles, and his role as a husband and father are taking a toll. A quiet health scare, fears of burnout, and tension behind closed doors add to the storm inside him. He still smiles for fans, giving his best, but those who know him well say he's changing. He is pulling back more and thinking deeply about his future. He questions if he can escape the pain he has sung about for years. That is where Jelly Roll stands today. He's not just a musician now. He's a man torn between the life he escaped and the life he built. A husband, a dad, a fighter. Now, more than ever, someone seeking peace, while life pulls him back into the fight. What happens next is still unknown. The story is still being written. But one thing is clear. His struggle isn't over. The next chapter could define him more than any before. For months, rumors quietly spread among those close to him. Not from tabloids, but from his team, family, and Bunny Zoe. They saw signs, sleepless nights, growing tired, and moments on stage where he looked distant. Not disconnected from music, but from himself. Something was wrong. Then, a shock hit his inner circle. Just hours before a big show, Jelly Roll collapsed in his dressing room. Witnesses say he was fine one moment. The next, chaos erupted. EMTs arrived quickly. His blood pressure had soared. He looked pale, trembled, and struggled to breathe. At first, fans were told it was exhaustion, that the tour had worn him out. But insiders knew it wasn't just tiredness, it was a warning. His body was telling the truth his pride refused to admit. He was close to burning out. Doctors told him to take real time off and focus on his health. Yet Jelly Roll, a true fighter, pushed back. He had shows scheduled, fans waiting, and commitments he believed he couldn't abandon. Canceling felt like breaking promises. Jelly Roll always wanted to hold himself to his word because he understood what it meant to be let down. Still, behind the scenes, the signs couldn't be ignored. Years of physical stress, emotional pain, and mental health struggles had taken their toll. The man who once beat addiction was now battling a different challenge: the constant pressure to stay strong for others while secretly falling apart. It wasn't only a collapse. There were other signs, too. A missed podcast with Bunny, unusual for two close friends. A sudden break from social media. Several interviews pushed back without explanations. Jelly Roll, who usually shared so much online, had gone quiet. Fans started to notice. Then he made a quiet confession. It wasn't in a headline or a statement, but during a late-night live stream. Sitting under a dim light, Jelly Roll spoke to fans not as a star, but as a man in pain. "I haven't been okay," he said, voice trembling. "I thought I could handle everything, but I can't. I've been scared, exhausted, and ignoring warning signs for too long." He talked about the pressure of performing even as anxiety and panic attacks grew. He admitted to falling back into unhealthy habits, not drugs, but emotional eating, isolation, and pushing himself too hard until he broke down. The moment was powerful, not only because of his honesty, but also because of his humility. Jelly Roll, who once faced prison and addiction, was now revealing something even harder to say. He's human and needs help. In the days after, fans responded with messages of love, support, and understanding from all over the internet. His wife Bunny shared a heartfelt post, reminding everyone that strength doesn't mean always being okay. It's about knowing when to pause, heal, and ask for grace. As things settled, a deeper truth surfaced, startling even his loyal followers. Doctors found that Jelly Roll risked serious health issues if he didn't change course. High blood pressure, stress, and signs of heart strain appeared in recent tests. If ignored, these problems could cut his life short. He was faced with a choice: to take a break and handle his health, or risk losing the chance to leave his mark. It was a clear warning he couldn't ignore. Quietly, Jelly Roll started changing his life. He canceled upcoming shows and focused on recovery, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. He returned to therapy, trained with a trainer, and reconnected with spiritual practices he had ignored during his busy success. He also began talking honestly with his family, especially Bunny and his daughter, sharing fears he kept hidden for years. Because the truth is, pain never fully leaves. It just hides in new places. Fans who have followed him know this isn't his first storm, but this one feels different. It isn't just about bouncing back from failure. It's about choosing to live fully, even when you feel broken. That makes this moment so powerful. Jelly Roll isn't just the underdog who made it out. Now he stands at the top, looking back at darkness and moving forward with clear purpose. This difficult time might be the turning point of his life, not because of the crisis, but because of what he chooses to do next. Will he come back stronger, more focused, more aware? Will he take control of his health and put himself first? Or will the pressure of expectations pull him back into the grind that almost destroyed him? No one can say for sure. One thing is certain: Jelly Roll's story isn't finished. It's still being written through every line, heartbreak, and win. If this chapter shows us anything, It's that even heroes need healing. Fans can only wait and hope that the next time he performs, it's because he wants to, not just because he feels he must. He should be there, healthy and ready to start again. For all his pain, all his raw lyrics and sold-out shows, his real achievement may be in how he's changed lives beyond the stage. Behind the tattoos and troubled past is a man building a legacy rooted in service, not just success. Over the years, Jelly Roll has used his voice to draw attention to those who are overlooked. The people in jail, those battling addiction and broken hearts. He hasn't just sung about redemption, he's lived it. He's reached back to help others find their way out of the fire. One of his strongest acts was returning to the juvenile detention center in Nashville, where he once stayed as a teen. But this time, he didn't just visit. This time, he entered not as an inmate, but as a mentor. He donated $250,000 to create a music studio inside the prison. The studio gives young inmates a way to express themselves and hope for a better future. He said in a 2023 CBS Mornings interview, "Music saved my life. Maybe it can save theirs too." His work didn't stop there. Jelly Roll has become a strong voice for mental health, addiction recovery, and criminal justice reform. He has spoken at recovery centers, supported programs that help inmates re-enter society, and used social media to raise funds for families affected by addiction. In a time when many celebrities avoid real problems, Jelly Roll steps into them. His relationship with his wife, Bunny So, is also full of love and healing. They turned their podcast, Dumb Blonde, into a space where they talk openly about trauma, recovery, and redemption. Listeners find not just entertainment, but comfort and understanding. His fans are more than supporters. They are survivors. His concerts are like group therapy, where strangers sing about their pain and hope. Jelly Roll's real impact is creating a community. He has given a voice to those who felt invisible. He shows that your past does not lock in your future. He reminds us that redemption can be messy, but possible. Now, as he faces one of the hardest times in his life, his legacy feels more important than ever. Not out of fear, but out of faith. Faith that the man who hit rock bottom can rise again, not for fame, but for himself. Jelly Roll's story isn't a fairy tale. It's raw, rough, and unpredictable. It's about bad choices, broken hearts, brave comebacks, and unfinished lines. That's what makes it powerful. When Jelly Roll hits the stage, he brings his whole story to life. When he leaves, it reminds us that even heroes bleed. Even strong voices need rest. And even the man who gives us hope might need us now. If his music has helped you, this is your chance to support him. Send love and encouragement for his recovery. If you face your own struggles, his story shows you're not alone. You matter, and it's never too late to start over. Like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're watching, waiting, and supporting the next chapter.